All right, so get ready for a deep dive into the world of Elon Musk. I'm excited about all the info you've sent over articles, biographies, even some behind-the-scenes looks at his companies. This goes way beyond the typical, Elon's a genius stuff.
It really is impressive. The stuff you found,
Yeah.
the depth of it, it
Mhm.
really lets us dig in, go beyond just like, is he a billionaire idol or a total villain? Those headlines,
Yeah.
it gets at, I think, the man behind all these missions.
Exactly. So yeah, no more surface level stuff. You found some really insightful stuff about Elon's childhood in South Africa, and it definitely wasn't all like spaceships and electric cars that we might picture.
Definitely not. From what these sources show us, I mean, his childhood was rough. Kind of makes you think, right?
Yeah.
We often equate huge success with like a carefree upbringing,
Mhm.
silver spoon and all. But Elon's story, it's like the opposite.
Yeah.
The difficult family, even bullying, seems like those experiences, they really left a mark on him.
You mentioned that one article, I think you said it talked about his dad refusing to take him to Disney World, saying it was too expensive. That one really stood out to me.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, talk about feeling like a kid who grew up without, well, much.
Exactly. And then you fast forward, not even that many years later, and it's Elon throwing these lavish parties, like on the Orient Express, these over-the-top things. Talk about a contrast.
Totally.
It's almost like, and I don't want to psychoanalyze too much here, but almost like he's trying to rewrite some of those early experiences,
Hmm.
like missing out, being told no.
Yeah.
Having those two extremes, I think it makes you wonder about the impact.
It makes you wonder, yeah. And that drive, I mean, that ambition, it's like it was with him from day one. This is
Oh.
a kid who, teaches himself how to code, sells his first video game at 12.
Let's not forget he devoured science fiction. I mean, this wasn't just a hobby for young Elon, these books, Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. It feels like those were shaping his whole worldview, that desire to tackle, like, the big questions, what seems impossible. You see that with a lot of visionary entrepreneurs, by the way, this link between what they loved early on and then the things that, frankly, seem kind of crazy that they go on to do.
For sure. But you also mentioned this thing, you flagged it, about him almost craving company as a kid.
Yeah.
Like he was almost allergic to having friends, but so badly wanted to be included.
Yeah, that really jumped out at me, too, reading these sources. Like, he'd follow his brothers on these hunting trips.
Hmm.
And he was terrified of guns, but he just wanted to be a part of it, be a
Wow.
part of the group, I don't know, that yearning for a connection, the fear of being alone, that seems to be a bit of a theme that runs through a lot of what we read.
It's true. It's almost like it gives us a different lens to then view his management style through, right?
Yeah, totally.
It's not just, oh, Elon Musk is a demanding boss. I mean, it's clearly deeper than that. It's like he has this need to be in the trenches, surrounded by his team, always.
Right. That discomfort with being alone, with solitude, that might explain why he pushes himself and everyone around him so hard.
Exactly. Speaking of pushing, what about that whole thing about Elon teaching himself basically rocket science? I mean, how does someone even do that?
Yeah, it wasn't like he just like picked up rocket science for dummies and called it a day. He read everything he could get his hands on, but then he'd go right to the source.
Huh.
He'd find these leading experts in all these different fields,
Yeah.
right? And just pick their brains, soak it all up. The guy clearly has this like insane hunger to learn.
It's mind-blowing. I mean, you can't argue with the guy's brilliance, right? But all that brilliance, all that drive, it seems like it came at a cost. I mean, the amount of dedication it takes to do what he does,
Yeah.
it takes its toll. You see it in his relationships over and over again.
One article you sent, they called it, get this, an aversion to smelling the flowers. It's like he is wired for this constant state of striving. You know what I mean? He could accomplish something huge, and it's immediately on to the next impossible thing. No time to, like, celebrate or even just relax.
It's almost like he's uncomfortable with stillness.
Oh.
Or maybe success. Or both.
Right. Which leads to this huge question that we have to think about as we kind of unpack his story. What really drives Elon Musk? Is it just knowledge? Is it a need to prove something? Maybe from his childhood?
Yeah.
Or is it, something else entirely?
That is the million-dollar question. And one I think we're going to keep coming back to as we, dig deeper into these companies, the innovations, and let's be honest, even the chaos that seems to follow Elon Musk wherever he goes. But hey, let's hit pause on his early life for now. You included some fascinating stuff on, like, the rise of Tesla, and man, what a different world from a quiet kid in South Africa reading sci-fi.
Yeah, from escaping into, sci-fi as a kid to then diving headfirst into the very real-world challenges of actually building a car company. I mean, talk about a wild ride, right?
Okay, but back then, remind me, why was even starting Tesla such a big deal? I mean, today, electric cars are everywhere. But it wasn't always like this, was it?
Not at all. I mean, back then, electric cars, they were seen as these slow, kind of clunky things, more like, glorified golf carts than actual
Mm.
cars. Nobody really, I think it's fair to say, took them seriously as, like, the future of transportation.
And Elon walks in and is basically like, hold my beer, I'm going to make electric cars cool.
Pretty much. He wanted to make them high performance, stylish, something people would actually desire. It was a classic example of what we call first principles thinking.
First principles thinking, oh, you're speaking my language. Break that down for me, though, just in case someone's not hip to that.
Basically, it's about going back to the fundamentals. So instead of just accepting how the auto industry had always done things, he's like, scrap that, let's start from scratch. What's actually possible, physically possible. How can we maximize efficiency? And this approach, it allowed him to kind of leapfrog over all the existing car companies.
Okay, that makes sense. But I mean, let's be real. Those early days at Tesla, definitely a roller coaster, to put it mildly. Production hell. And that's putting it nicely, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Right.
One of the articles you sent, it described those early days, and it was just perfect, it said. Constant delays, supply chain nightmares, designs that looked amazing on paper, but then actually trying to manufacture them. Next to impossible. It was total chaos.
But then you have that famous story. I mean, I'm sure most people listening have heard this, about Elon actually sleeping on the factory floor. That's got to count for something, right?
It wasn't just for show. He really did that. I mean, he would be right there in the thick of it, working side by side with the engineers, the technicians, whoever, just trying to figure out, like, how do we fix this? How do we get this done?
Wait, so we're talking the CEO of a major car company sleeping on the factory floor. That's intense.
That's Elon Musk, right? And it goes back to what we were saying before, that whole aversion to smelling the flowers. He's not going to be, like, sitting back in some cushy office while his company's struggling. He's going to be there, pushing everyone, including himself, I think, to the absolute limit.
So it's not even micromanaging, really. It's something, like, deeper than that.
100%. It's that relentless drive we talked about, and that intensity, that absolute commitment to the vision. I think it both inspires people and terrifies them, to be honest. It's a powerful way to lead, but, potentially dangerous, too.
Well, for Tesla, at least, I mean, you can't argue with the results, right? They're leading the electric car revolution. But we can't talk about Tesla without talking about his other baby, SpaceX. Talk about, like, literally shooting for the stars, right?
Okay, but before we totally jump over to SpaceX, let's not forget, I mean, Elon starts both of these companies, Tesla and SpaceX, at a time when most people, I think, would have been, licking their wounds, laying low, playing it safe. This is right after he gets forced out of PayPal, which, by the way, he co-founded.
So much for playing it safe. Most people, they get kicked out of one company and they're like, okay, maybe I'll take some time off, rethink things. Not Elon. He's like, you know what? I'm going to revolutionize the two most challenging industries on the planet back to back.
Right. He doesn't want to just, like, make a dent in the universe. He wants to, like, totally reshape it in his image. I mean, if that sounds dramatic, well, that's Elon. But SpaceX, you're right to call it shooting for the stars, because it's literally that. We're talking about colonizing Mars, making humanity a multiplanetary species, that kind of thing.
And he meant it, too. Like, from day one, he was serious. This wasn't just some, like, pie-in-the-sky dream. But SpaceX, they also had a pretty rocky start, didn't they? You sent over something that detailed those first rocket launches, and it wasn't exactly smooth sailing.
Oh, man. Those early launches, you're talking nail-biters. I mean, the first 3 Falcon 1 rockets they launched, all 3 exploded.
Are you serious? 3 in a row? I mean, I'm just imagining being on that team. You'd think, like, this is cursed.
Right. Most people would have given up right then and there, but not Elon. There's that story, I think it was right after the 3rd failed launch, he gets his team together, and he gives them this insane deadline. I'm talking 6 weeks to build and ship a whole new rocket to their launch site. 6 weeks.
6 weeks. Are you kidding? It takes longer than that to, like, get a pizza delivered on a Friday night.
Right. But that's Elon. It's that reality distortion feel you hear everyone talk about. He puts these insane goals out there, impossible deadlines, and somehow his team, they pull it off time after time.
And in this case, they did. I mean, that 4th launch of success, I can't even imagine the party they must have had.
The relief, the excitement. Because that launch, it wasn't just a win, it was like a lifeline. I mean, they needed that to get more funding, to prove all the doubters wrong, and it bought them the chance to keep working toward, that ultimate goal. Mars.
So they get the rockets flying, but then there's this whole thing with them switching to stainless steel for the Starship. Was that another one of Elon's, like, crazy ideas that just happened to work out?
Sounds kind of nuts on the surface, right? I mean, you've got everyone else using these super high-tech, expensive alloys for rockets, and Elon's like, nope, we're going with stainless steel.
And this is the thing about Elon. He actually understands material science way better than you'd think. Like, he knew that steel, because of how strong it is and how well it handles heat, it would actually be perfect for reusable rockets. Plus, way cheaper.
So a gamble, but a calculated gamble.
Exactly. And it paid off.
Yep.
Big time. I mean, the stainless steel Starship, that's their flagship rocket now, right? It's the one that's supposed to take us to Mars. I think it's a perfect example of Elon's, I don't know, superpower combining these gut instincts with this crazy deep well of technical knowledge that most people don't realize he has.
And to think, it all started with this kid who just wanted to, like, read science fiction in peace.
Yeah.
This is quite the journey we're on here.
Oh, we're just getting started. I mean, we've covered Tesla, we talked about SpaceX, and we haven't even gotten to Neuralink yet. Or the Boring Company. Or his thoughts on AI, which, let me tell you, whoa, hold on. From electric cars to, like, digging tunnels to now merging our minds with machines, this guy, he never slows down, does he? I think I'm starting to get why you called this whole thing, like, the Elon Musk paradox. Brilliant, innovative, no doubt.
Yeah.
But also, I don't know, a little reckless, maybe even impulsive.
Exactly. And it's that tension, the duality, I think, that makes him so fascinating and so frustrating, too. He's not just changing the world. He's forcing us to change how we even define what it means to be, you know, a visionary or a leader, or maybe just a human being even.
So we've gone from those early years in South Africa all the way to Tesla, SpaceX. And honestly, the more we learn about Elon, the more I feel like I'm only scratching the surface.
He's one of those figures, you know, inspires both, like diehard fans and some pretty harsh critics. It's not every day you see that kind of split. And what's interesting, looking at all these sources you've gathered, both sides have a point.
Totally. I mean, on the one hand, you can't deny the impact. Tesla pushing electric vehicles further than anyone thought possible. All the stuff with renewable energy, not to mention those SpaceX launches. It's incredible.
He's definitely pushing boundaries. I mean, these are industries that haven't seen this level of disruption in, like, decades.
Yeah.
But, and I think this is what you're getting at. The question that keeps coming up is, you know, what cost?
Yeah, exactly. Because every time you read about something amazing he's done, there's another story right behind it about, like, his management style, his temper, that Twitter stuff, how he treats people, you know. It's a lot.
Right. He's been called a visionary, a genius,
Yeah.
but also a bully,
Yeah.
narcissist, even a reckless egomaniac. And to be honest, the sources, they back up a lot of it. It's not just media hype.
Well, you mentioned Twitter. That whole thing with the Thai cave rescue, that was wild. You have this guy trying to help, designing a mini submarine to get those kids out.
Which, to be fair, was actually a really innovative approach, even if they didn't end up using it in the end.
Totally. But then one of the rescuers, he says something critical, and Elon goes on this whole Twitter rant, calls the guy a pedo guy. I mean, come on.
Not a good look. And it wasn't just a one-time thing, right? You see that impulsivity pop up again and again, those tweets about Tesla stock, feuding with other CEOs, even his attitude towards regulations sometimes. It's like he can't or won't always control it.
Which makes this whole thing about his views on AI even crazier to me. Because here's a guy pouring billions into AI research, Neuralink, his work with OpenAI, but then he's also out there warning everyone about a robot apocalypse.
It's wild, right? He literally called AI the greatest existential threat, compared it to, like, summoning the demon. And yet here we are.
It's mind-boggling. So how do we make sense of that? Is he being hypocritical? Or is it something else?
Honestly, I keep coming back to that core drive we talked about, that need to push boundaries. Like, even if it means going right up to the edge of danger, maybe even stepping over, he can't help himself.
So with AI, you think it's like he sees the risk, maybe even believes it could destroy the world, but he also thinks he can be the one to control it.
Maybe. Or maybe it's more about believing he's the one who should control it.
Yeah.
That it's on him to make sure it's used for good. Which, you know, love or hate him, you got to admit, that's a pretty bold way to look at things.
Bold is one word for it. But I guess we've seen that boldness before. It's how we got Tesla, how we got SpaceX.
Right. It's gotten him results. He's achieved stuff most people thought was impossible. But it's also come with some serious downsides. A lot of unnecessary drama, people getting hurt. It's a trade-off, for sure.
So where does that leave us? What's the final word on Elon Musk? Hero. Villain.
Right.
Reckless genius. I don't even know.
I don't think it's a simple answer, and that's what makes him so fascinating to study, to talk about. He's this giant contradiction, and he kind of forces us all to decide, what are we willing to put up with, maybe even forgive, in the name of progress? Like, if someone's making the world a better place, but leaving a trail of chaos in their wake, does it even matter?
Wow, that's a lot to unpack. Honestly, this whole conversation has been eye-opening. A huge thank you to you for walking us through all of this. I feel like I have a lot to think about.
You and me both. But hey, the story's not over yet, right? Elon Musk is out there as we speak, doing his thing. So who knows what we'll be saying about him a year, 5 years, 10 years from now. It's going to be wild.
I can't wait to see what he does next. And huge thank you to everyone listening for joining us on another deep dive. We'll be back next week with a whole new topic and a fresh perspective. Until then, keep asking those big questions, and we'll keep digging for answers.